leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
One ringy dingy. Two ringy dingies.
Hello?
E.T. Phone Home.
From iconic scenes in television and movies to everyday life, the telephone has played an important role in our lives since its invention in 1876.
Mr. Watson, come here. I want you.
The first phones arrived in Omaha in 1877, with Lincoln following the next year. And today, it's in Lincoln where you could visit one of the best telephony collections in the United States, if you knew where to look.
We're the best kept secret in town. You know, the folks that we can get in here really think it's worthwhile. They didn't know it's here. Many say they've driven by here so many times.
Located on the edge of downtown Lincoln, the Frank H. Woods Telephone Museum opened in the early 90s and was staffed by volunteers, all former telephone employees. The collection spans from the time of the telephone's invention to present day.
I think we're one of the top 10 in the nation. I always promote this 1890 payphone over here as being very unique because it's the way you collect the money is no different than you do it today. The storage of dials that are 11-hole dials where the top one is your operator is kind of unique. The man that developed the dial phone devised the system that we use today, and this took the operator out of it. You dial your own call, you control your own destiny when you're dialing people. So they started developing one of these.
But at its heart, the museum is an homage to the 100-year history of the Lincoln Telephone and Telegraph Company and its founder, Frank H. Woods.
In the little towns around here, they had what we called a switchboard.
Bob Culver worked at Lincoln Telephone while Frank Woods was still at the helm.
A very professional businessman. That on the business side, he was very good at what he did, and on the other side, he was very comfortable with having people be a family type of thing.
By the time Frank Woods went into the phone business in 1904, the American Bell Telephone Company was already an industry giant, and mainly in cities. Today, we know them as AT&T. Independent phone companies like Lincoln Telephone provided service to rural communities. In 1910, Frank Woods was elected president of the National Independent Telephone Association and immediately found himself in a high-stakes negotiation with Bell Telephone.
At that time, he went to AT&T to talk about them, and I guess originally they visited about it, and Frank got real disgusted, got up and walked out.
Already a powerful monopoly, Bell Telephone was under threat of an antitrust lawsuit by President Woodrow Wilson. Bell executives found themselves at the negotiating table with the young Nebraskan. At stake was access to Bell's long-distance lines and for Bell to stop buying its competitors. Tempers flared. Finally, when an exasperated Woods abruptly walked out, Bell executives chased after him. A deal was struck. Called the Kingsbury Commitment, it gave birth to our modern phone system. The president of Bell Telephone called Woods the great independent, and living up to his name, Woods went on to build the third largest independent telephone company of his time.
We did a lot of firsts, Lincoln Telephone did. The first dial system was in Lincoln in 1904. First mobile radio was 1946. First 911 system was in '68 in Hebron. They were pioneers in a lot of things.
But now it has come to an end. The museum lost its home and the collection was put up for sale.
Our hope from the very beginning was that it would remain local. We have no control over it.
Lincoln Telephone was sold to Altel 20 years ago, but the museum sits on property that's being redeveloped, and the volunteers had no luck finding a new home.
We have looked at a lot of buildings. We have no money. Our membership is old.
The volunteers found they had no other choice but to close the museum. They put the collection up for sale as a single lot and have earmarked the proceeds to be invested in a college scholarship fund.
Oh, I hate to see it go. It was also about the people and the folks I worked with, that you were dedicated. I started out, did my job, and was very lucky. We had a real loyalty and made some really, really good friends.